What's up? Welcome to part 3 of every MLB team's biggest need entering the 2022 offseason. We have already done the AL West, the NL West, and today we get to venture all the way out into the AL Mid. That's the AL Central. We had some interesting storylines in this division this year, including one of the biggest surprise teams of the season, and probably the most disappointing, the Chicago White Sox. If you want to check out a video on that, I'll put a link in the description for a video that I did on why the White Sox were such a disappointment this year. There's my shameless plug for the video. I mean, I will probably do more. Just go check out all my videos. And before we get into this one, make sure you drop a like on the video. It helps spread it out to other baseball fans so they can enjoy it as well. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with this entire series as we go through every division and all of the other baseball content that we're going to have on this channel. And we are starting with MLB's most disappointing team of the season, the Chicago White Sox. Chicago's free agents could include shortstop Elvis Andrus with a vesting option. They're not going to turn down the team option on Tim Anderson, but weirder things have happened. Outfielder AJ Pollock has a player option. Second baseman Josh Harrison also is under control with the team option. But the main two, first baseman Jose Abreu and starting pitcher Johnny Cueto, are straight up free agents. As far as holes in this roster, when you look at the position players, Baseball Reference's wins above average has them with a handful of holes, but some of this lack of production was due to some of the big guys that they relied on just not being in the lineup a good amount of the year. Really, statistically, the main things I would say that stand out, their walk rate, walk to strikeouts were both really low, and then pitching wise, ground ball percentage, fly ball percentage, and walk rate were really low. Now their pitching needs to improve this walk rate, but if they can do that, I think they're going to be fine. So where we're going to try to add for this team is to find a high walk rate outfielder. Preferably somebody that can field pretty good. Chicago's left fielders ranked 23rd in wins above average, right fielders ranked 28th, and their outfield in general was ranked 27th. And that walk rate was dead last in baseball. So that's why we need to focus mainly on this stuff. If this guy can get a little pop and improve their 26th ranked ISO, probably due to a 27th ranked launch angle, and be a good fielder too, that can help because their advanced fielding numbers were not kind at all. Now Chicago's number 2, 12, and 21 prospects are all outfielders that have hit at least AA, but this is a team that's still probably trying to compete right now. They need to go get somebody. Get a veteran guy that you know is going to be more proven in adding these things to this team rather than taking a chance on a prospect. Next up is Cleveland, who surprised a lot of people after not really making any competitive moves in the offseason. So I doubt they're going to listen to me, but what the hell. Their only free agent is catcher Austin Hedges. Now where we're going to try to add on to this team that played a really old school, like small ball type of baseball that worked pretty well for them up until the playoffs, is we're gonna add some kind of a slugging first baseman to put a little pop into this lineup. Cleveland's pitching was as good as ever, but hitting wise, they ranked 28th in walk percentage and pretty much were just slapping the ball around, hitting a lot of things through the holes. So somebody that's gonna hit the ball with some authority in the air is only gonna make a huge difference in this lineup. Now Josh Naylor was this kind of guy, like light diet version, whatever. So we still want to keep his bat in the lineup, and we have room at DH to do that. So that's why we're still going to try to add first base, where Cleveland's number 16 prospect is their only guy listed as a first baseman that's hit AA or higher. So we got to go get somebody. All right, now let's try to figure out how we fix Detroit. Their main free agents, second baseman Jonathan Schoop has a player option after how bad he did, and we'll get to that, not to give everything away, but I doubt he's declining that option. Reliever Andrew Chafin also has a player option, and then catcher Tucker Barnhart and reliever Daniel Norris are their straight up free agents. Now, a lot of people were thinking that Detroit was going to take a step forward this year, especially a lot of their younger guys. that was not the case. Those guys are still there, and you have to hope that they're going to take that step forward. Across the board, this team was just bad because of that. So what we're going to try to add is some kind of a veteran hitting middle infielder. So with Shoop, there it is, hitting a 62 OPS plus and a 57 WRC plus. I still am hung up on that. That was awful. There's a hole in the middle of this infield. Whether it's either having somebody come in to play second, or Javi Baez has played second throughout his career, especially when he's been on some of these teams where there's probably a better-ish shortstop than him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's willing to make that move again. But we want to get some kind of a veteran guy, not hope that another one of these prospects can figure it out, because I know they still have Miguel Cabrera, but Javi Baez does not have a great approach at the plate. That's obvious. So somebody that does can start to help these younger guys learn how to be a little bit more professional hitters. The Tigers' strikeout percentage was 29th, their walk percentage was 27th, and that led to the worst walk to strikeout rate in baseball. So bringing in somebody who not just himself is going to raise this number up, but can teach all of these younger hitters how to improve that for themselves as well, bonus points. And now we get to the other rebuilding team in this division, the Kansas City Royals, whose main and only free agent is starting pitcher Zach Greinke, who honestly is 38. He might just retire. And this team is weirdly on like the exact opposite end of the spectrum as Detroit. Where we're going to add for Kansas City is we got to get some starting pitching in here, where they rank 24th in wins above average. But their staff as a whole was 27th in ERA, 29th in both strikeout and walk rate, which led to the worst strikeout to walk rate in baseball. Their fielding independent pitching was 28th, expected FIP was 29th, and their pitcher's baseball reference WAR was 28th. So I mean, weirdly, when guys hit the ball against these pitchers, they actually weren't that bad. It's just this god-awful strikeout walk rate. Like, they're walking guys and then just letting the ball get put in play all the time. So we got to do something to address that. Get some more strikeouts, get less walks. Maybe one of these either 11, 12, 14, 16, 19, or 24 prospects that have hit AA or higher can be some of these guys. Or maybe you go get a free agent, but if you do, it's gotta be somebody younger that you can just eat the first year or two of a big contract, and then the window opens and you still have them relatively in their prime, and you could kind of mess around with the money to make it work pretty well too. This finally brings us to our last team, the Minnesota Twins, who have potential free agents, first baseman Miguel Sano and starters Sonny Gray and Dylan Bundy, who all have team options. Starter Chris Archer has a mutual option, but the main ones, shortstop Carlos Correa has opted out. He'll be a free agent, along with catcher Gary Sanchez and reliever Michael Fulmer. Oh my God, they have Billy Hamilton too. Remember when everybody thought that this dude was gonna be good just because he's fucking fast? Now, losing Carlos Correa is a big deal, but with how their hitting did like noticeably better than their pitching, if you take him out, I think it puts them on about the same level. And then you throw in the fact that Minnesota could lose a couple of starters this year in free agency. We got to address the rotation, and we're going to do that mainly by trying to find a starting pitcher that can throw some fucking ground balls. So like I mentioned before, their starting pitchers ranked 23rd in wins above average, and Baseball Reference had their pitching staff as a whole ranked 20th in WAR. Probably the big thing that they needed to fix, the launch angle against these guys was their 26th worst. So we need somebody that can keep the ball out of the air and limit the amount of homers and extra bases that this pitching staff is going to give up. Now again, maybe one of these number 6, 9, 10, 15, 22, and 24 prospects that have hit AA or higher can end up being one of these guys. But if Minnesota is still trying to compete right now, you can't take that risk on a prospect, so you have to go get somebody. And this is how we would fix every team in the AL Central. with one move. Let me know, how would you address the biggest weakness on all of these teams, and do I even have the right weakness in mind? Let me know, leave a comment down below. And if you have made it this far, you need to hit that like button because you clearly enjoyed this video, or you're just angrily typing comments this long, and then I should deserve some kind of a like for it, please. Also, you could subscribe, follow along, make sure that you catch every video in this series as we go through every division, every team, and find their biggest weakness and address it, and all of the other baseball content that we're gonna have coming out on this channel. Thank you again for watching and supporting. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you have an awesome day. Peace. See you in the next one. You know, every time I'm like, I can get this video done quick. I can make it shorter. And then I fucking talk forever. I need help.